most importantly, she is agreeing and admitting that she is the cause of the stab wound that Mr. Obumseli received.
OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney faces the music in the stabbing death of her boyfriend more than 4 years after she killed him.
My boyfriend's blood is all over me.
Christian Obumseli's family addressing the killer.
No family should ever have to go through what the Obumseli had to go to.
But Courtney's lawyer and her parents say she is the victim despite the guilty plea.
This sentence today speaks volumes about the quality of the state's case against Courtney.
I'm Angenette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. Courtney Clenney has been in jail for exactly 4 years. Her career as an OnlyFans model brought to a screeching halt after she stabbed her boyfriend, Christian Toby Obumseli, to death. The OnlyFans model had faced a murder charge in the stabbing of Christian. There was never a question that Courtney caused Christian's death, but it was how and why it happened that was at issue. Now, Courtney has changed her plea from not guilty to that murder charge to guilty, but she's not pleading guilty to murder. She's going to prison, but not for as long as you might think. Before I get to Courtney's plea and her sentence, let's look back at the body-worn camera footage from that day.
You can get up right now.
Why you have to keep him upright? I just want to keep him
Get up
upright.
right now. Mommy, go home.
We're helping
Listen,
you.
It was April 3rd, 2022, when police went to the condo Courtney Clenney shared with Christian Obumseli. Courtney had stabbed Christian during one of their many, many arguments, and police body-worn cameras were rolling.
No, I can't let this, okay?
Let go.
Wait, it wasn't me. Guys,
Relax.
Why? No, guys.
Relax.
Boss, what's going on? Hey, you good? What do you have?
Relax.
What are you doing from? Go.
Guys, please.
Relax.
I'm
Sit down.
Here. Okay.
Sit down.
Okay, just let me.
Sit down.
Okay. Baby, come here. Just sit down.
Courtney Clenney had stabbed Christian Obumseli at their condo.
Homicide's the one responding for DV. I'm assuming.
Wait, is he dead? Is he dead?
Listen.
Exit.
Sit down.
Okay, no, I'll sit
Sit
down.
down.
I just, you scared me.
Sit down.
He's not dead, is he?
We don't.
No, they're taking him to the hospital right now.
He's in the hospital right now.
I need to be at the hospital with him.
You're not going anywhere.
Why?
Because we're conducting an investigation.
I was self-defense. My mom was on the phone.
You're okay. Well, listen, the detectives are coming. You're gonna talk to them, and then you're gonna explain your side.
But I'm gonna be covered in blood. I look crazy. I was holding him while he was spurting blood, trying to stop the blood.
Okay. So you guys started arguing. Then what happened?
Threw me against the wall. Choked me. You're looking like this. He's never like choked me to where like it's like crazy stuff.
So
but I couldn't breathe.
Okay.
Then he put me on the.
So he
on the
throws you
ground.
against the wall.
Then he put me on the ground, choked me. That's happened 2 other times.
Did he
before.
tell you anything? Did he say
just
anything?
like that kind of face, like where I was really scared and I was trying to get him off of me and he wouldn't get
Okay.
off. Then he gets off. Then I called my mom.
Okay.
And then I was like, I went into the other room and I was talking to her and I was like crying and saying like something is happening, like I don't know what's going on with Christian. And I was just like crying, whatever. And then like I went to the kitchen and he started like charging at me. And I said like, I'm gonna like throw this at you. And he goes, do it. And then he charged me. But he was far away and I never in a million years I'm
He
scared.
threw a statue at you?
No. It was the knife. I said, like, I was just holding it to be like, please don't come anywhere near me, basically.
Months later, in August of 2022, Courtney was charged with murdering Christian despite her self-defense claim. Evidence showed she called her mom before calling 911, and more evidence came to light showing that Courtney was often abusive toward Christian. The case has gone on for years and was expected to go to trial until it didn't.
In anticipation of this plea, the state has filed an amended information charging the defendant with 1 count of manslaughter with a deadly weapon. It is a first-degree felony, punishable up to 30 years in state prison. That changes her guideline score from what it was to now 124.5 months in state prison, up to 30 years in state prison. I am passing up the written plea agreement that is signed by only the state, the defendant, but also all of her attorneys. Major part of this, Judge, is that she's pleading guilty to this amended information, to the charge that was announced just now. There's a factual proffer that's a part of this plea agreement. We're going to ask Your Honor to read it. She will be agreeing to that factual proffer, but most importantly, she is agreeing and admitting that she is the cause of the stab wound that Mr. Obumseli received, and then that she is taking criminal responsibility for her actions. As part of this plea agreement, the state is willing to accept her plea. We've discussed this at length with the next of kin and certainly with Mr. Hanfield. And certainly when there's any agreement, no one is happy at the end of this, and we understand that. But the agreement that the state is willing to accept is that the defendant would be adjudicated guilty. She'll be sentenced to 6 years in state prison, followed by 5 years of reporting probation. As part of her probation, she must complete a mental health evaluation and treatment. There's a time frame in which she is to complete it. That's part of the plea agreement. Substance abuse evaluation and treatment, that's also a time constraint that's going to be in the agreement. And then it's 60 days, Your Honor. And then the batterer's intervention program. If she does violate her probation in any way at any point, she's waiving extradition back to Florida, and as well that she faces back to her guidelines, which are 124.5 months in state prison up to 30 years in state prison. Although not specifically in this plea agreement, the state attorney has asked me to discuss the topic specifically that it discusses, and it's important that nobody who is a convicted murderer to killing someone, if someone is convicted of murder, they are not to financially benefit as a result of that. That's Florida Statute 944.512. It's effectively our iteration of the Son of Sam law, but it is a statutory lien that attaches automatically, and if the Attorney General's office were to decide to seek some form of lien or process in that, then that we would be supporting them in that. We do believe that nobody should benefit financially from murdering somebody.
So Courtney Clenney pleaded guilty to manslaughter and will serve 6 years in prison. She's been in custody for 4 years. If she behaves, she could be out in less than 2 years. That last part was very interesting because the state attorney believes Courtney Clenney may try to benefit financially from this criminal case. Her lawyer, Frank Prieto, pushed back.
Well, Judge, I do have the right to speak on my client's behalf, and so I'm going to put on the record that we believe that statute's unconstitutional. It's not an issue for the plea agreement, like Mr. Angenette said. It is 100% accurate. However, we reserve the right to challenge that in the future. We do not think it's constitutional, and it would be challenged should any Attorney General seek to enforce that, but that's an argument for another day should it arise.
All right. If you love digging into the details of crime cases as much as I do, you have to download the Law&Crime Plus app. If you haven't checked it out yet, here are 3 reasons to jump on board today. Number 1, you get complete access. Watch the best shows from both Law&Crime and Court TV completely ad-free. Number 2, the case files. You get deep dive access to raw trial evidence, including body cam video, 911 calls, crime scene photos, and much more. Number 3, it's free for 30 days. We're giving all of our viewers a full month to test it out completely risk-free. So head on over to lawandcrimeplus.com, enter the promo code CRIMEFIX, and start exploring today. Then it was time to hear exactly what the state and the defense had agreed to.
The state of Florida and the defendant agree as to the following factual proffer. A. Christian Obumseli, hereafter the victim, and the defendant began dating in late 2020. Their relationship is defined by the parties as being extremely tempestuous and combative, as both have been involved in numerous domestic violence incidents. B. The victim and the defendant moved to South Florida in January 2022, taking up residence in a condominium located at One Paraiso Residences, located in Miami-Dade County. There were many complaints made by residents and security staff lodged against the couple during the 3 months that they resided in the complex. As a result, the management company was in the process of evicting the couple. C. On April 3rd, 2022, Miami Police and Miami Fire Rescue responded to their condo after a 911 call was made reporting a stabbing. Officers found the victim with a singular stab wound to the chest. After the incident, the defendant provided a knowingly, intelligent, and voluntarily made statement to the police, confirming that she was responsible for the stab wound. The knife penetrated approximately 8 centimeters into the victim's chest, puncturing the right subclavian artery. The victim was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where he died from his injuries.
And then it was time to hear from Courtney Clenney. What would she say?
Clenney?
Yes, Your Honor. Raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record.
Courtney Clenney.
What is your date of birth? How far did you get to school?
I have no GED.
Do you have any history of mental illness?
I was diagnosed with severe PTSD.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Have you understood everything that was discussed with your attorneys prior to coming to court, as well as what we're doing here in court today?
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand you wish to plead guilty to manslaughter in exchange for the plea that was read into the record a moment ago. Has anyone, including your own attorney, promised you anything other than that?
No.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to accept a plea at this time?
No.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, this plea will result in negative immigration consequences such as deportation or removal?
Yes.
Have you spoken to your attorneys about that, and do you still wish to accept this plea knowing that?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand you're waiving your right to a trial?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand you're waiving your right to remain silent and that silence cannot be used against you at trial?
Yes.
Do you understand you're waiving your right to testify?
Yes.
Do you understand you're waiving your right to confront, cross-examine, and present witnesses? Do you understand you're waiving your right to hold the state of Florida to its burden of proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
Do you understand you're waiving your right to appeal? The following question does not seem to apply in this case, but I have to ask in every case. Do you understand that the offense to which you are pleading is a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, or if you've been previously convicted of such an offense, this plea may result in involuntary civil commitment as a sexually violent predator upon the completion of your sentence?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand if you violate the terms and conditions of your probation, you're facing up to 30 years in the state prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you still wish to plead guilty?
I do.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty or you believe this plea is in your best interest?
Yes,
Have you spoken to your attorneys about the plea?
I have.
Have they answered all of your questions?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to discuss the plea with your attorneys?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with their services?
I am.
I'd like
Courtney Clenney, after claiming self-defense for 4 years, finally admitted that she killed Christian Obumseli, her boyfriend, who she'd assaulted on several occasions. If Courtney violates her probation, she could go to prison for up to 30 years. Then a statement was read on behalf of Christian Obumseli's mother.
I first give thanks to the Lord Almighty for his protection and guidance over our family throughout these past 4 years. I also want to thank the attorneys, the state attorney's office, Larry Hanfield, and everyone who helped make sure that Christian's voice and our family's voices were heard. I thank our family and our friends who called, prayed for us, checked on us, and stood beside us through this very, very difficult journey. I am Christian's mother. Words can never fully explain how Christian's death has affected my life and the lives of everyone in our family. There is simply too much pain to put on paper. On April 4th, 2022, while I was at work, I received the call that no parent should ever have to receive. I was asked to give consent for my son's eyes to be donated. I had just talked to him the day before and had no knowledge that he had been killed. That was the darkest day of my life. And the darkness continued to unfold as I learned Christian had been killed by his girlfriend, Courtney Clenney, someone he had trusted and loved. Since April 2022, I have lived with fear, anxiety, sleepless nights, heartache, and more tears than I could ever count. 4 years later, there are still nights when I cannot sleep. There are moments when my mind goes back to the last moments of Christian's life. As his mother, those thoughts are very difficult for me to carry. There was a joy in my life and in our family's life before Christian died that has never completely returned. His death did not only affect me, however. It affected my entire family, including his older brother, Jeffrey, his cousins, who were raised as siblings, and his grandmother, who loved him so much and called him her precious. We have all had to learn how to live with the empty place that cannot be filled. But I do not want Christian to be remembered only for how he died. Christian was my son. Everyone who knew Christian, who truly knew him, can attest that he was kind-hearted, compassionate, friendly, and respectful. He cared about other people. I remember one day when Christian and I were driving to a store. I stopped and I was going to give a homeless man a few dollars. Christian encouraged me to do much more than that. It was a small moment, but it showed the kind of heart he had. He saw another human being who needed help, and he wanted to make sure that that person had enough. Christian, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that I had the privilege of being your mother. Those are the memories that no one can ever take from us and me. Nothing can erase the pain of the day that I buried my son. Nothing can describe what it feels like for a mother to stand at the grave of her child. There are also the things that will never happen for me now that he's gone. The birthdays, the holidays we will not celebrate with him, the conversations we will never have, the person he would have continued to become. Those losses continue much longer after today's court case ends. For more than 4 years, we've lived with the loss every day and waited for accountability. Today closes a legal chapter, but it certainly doesn't close our grief. No sentence, no plea can bring back my son to me. My only hope is to carry his memory forward and to continue healing as a family. My prayer is that after today, Christian will simply not be remembered by the public as a name connected to a criminal case. He was a son, he was a brother, he was a cousin, he was a nephew and a grandson, and he was a friend to a lot of people. He was loved, he had a future, and his life had value and mattered. As a family, we are very private people. We have endured this loss while much of Christian's life and death have been discussed publicly and inaccurately to support a narrative created by Courtney, the person who took my son's life. There are parts of our grief that belong only to us, and I choose to keep those things within our family. But I want this court to understand this much. The loss of Christian did not end on April 4th, 2022. We carry it with us every day.
And another statement was read on behalf of the entire Obumseli family.
April 4th of 2022, Christian Obumseli suffered a painful and tragic death at the hands of the person he loved. Sadly, that will be the person that would ultimately take his life. Christian loved deeply. It was his love that caused him to stay. Even after being previously cut in the face, previously stabbed in the leg by Courtney, he would later write that his love would eventually get him killed. In many ways, he predicted his own death at the hands of Courtney Clenney. Unfortunately, like so many individuals who get caught up in not loving relationship, but just destructive relationship, he stated. And we are here today because what he believed became a reality. By resolving this case today by way of a plea, Courtney Clenney avoids being judged by a jury of her peers. But that will never be able to escape the ultimate and final judgment for anyone's conduct. That judgment can only be handled by our Creator, our Almighty God. Your actions, you need to know, as you sit here today, and as you finish out serving your time for punishment, that you have left the Obumseli family with a void that can never be filled. The pain that continues to endure today as painful as it was when they learned of his untimely death. It is a pain that will never completely go away. A chair where family gathers for holidays will always remain empty. The Obumseli family has been forced into joining a membership that no family should ever want to be a part of. And as a family of mothers of murdered children. As a family, we still cannot get past the fact that Christian was stabbed while you remained on the phone with your mom. You then called downstairs to security, and then your third and final call, which should have been your first call, was to 911. In the meantime, you offered no life-saving measures to try to save Christian's life. To us, that is inhumane. Christian was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's nephew, someone's cousin, someone's friend, and most importantly, he was deeply loved. His life had meaning. He had a future. And his family deserved to grow old with him. He was robbed of all those things while you still have all yours to enjoy. Nothing can bring Christian back. Nothing can erase what happened. And nothing can fill the space that will forevermore be left empty. We will carry Christian's memory, his love, and his legacy with us for the rest of our lives. I thank the court for giving us, as a family, the opportunity to be heard and to let this be a part of the record. But lastly, through it all, we never even received an apology and an acknowledgement for the loss that changed our lives forever.
So Courtney Clenney will go to prison, but she will be able to go on with her life someday, and it sounds like something might be in the works where she can make some money when she gets out.
Cases generally are resolved by way of plea prior to trial. This was no different than any other case. The most important thing is that the family wanted someone to accept responsibility, and the family saw that today. She is a convicted felon for the rest of her life. She will be, when she gets out of prison, she will be on 5 years probation. The crime for which she pled guilty to and was convicted as a felon, if she violates probation, carries a 30-year prison sentence. And so therefore, no amount of time was going to bring Kristen back. The family was aware of that. but at least this gives them an opportunity to try to bring closure to a very traumatic, life-changing experience. No family should ever have to go through what the Obumseli had to go to. And they learned of his death through a telephone call, someone from Miami requesting to donate his organs. That's the worst call that anybody should ever have to suffer.
Did the family expect to hear from Courtney Clenney today? Did they want to hear from her today?
Well, I don't think there's anything that she could say that can change what happened. I think that she should have at least apologized, but even her apology would not have removed what she did April of 2022.
If she doesn't violate her probation, though, she's out in 2 years. Is that hard to accept?
It is the reality of the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system, when you're dealing with pleas, is give and take. I represent the family. I don't represent the state attorney's office. Based upon wanting this matter to come to a closure, the family was aware of it and allowed for the resolution to take place as it did today.
Is there something?
With all of that, and Courtney pleading guilty to manslaughter with a deadly weapon, her lawyer, Frank Prieto, said that Courtney Clenney is a victim of domestic violence.
The evidence presented, independent eyewitnesses, medical records, police security reports, expert testimony. We have many experts in this case. This all support, all the experts, all the video, all the evidence supports that, in fact, Ms. Clenney, Courtney Clenney, was the victim of domestic violence in this case. And the actions she took that night, we stand by them, that she did it to protect her own life. As you heard her state in court today, she took this plea because it's in her best interests.
So you heard it right there. Frank Prieto says Courtney is a victim. And he says the 6-year sentence that she received reflects that.
And followed by 5 years of probation. So if you think about that, all of the negative press, all of the publicity, all of the people, all the naysayers saying, Courtney, it was crazy, look at these videos. This sentence today speaks volumes about the quality of the state's case against Courtney. Her guidelines under second-degree murder, her original charge, were well above 20 years. Even her guidelines to a manslaughter are in excess of 10 years, or almost 12. We resolved the case to 6 years. She already has 4 in, and coincidentally, 4 years to the day she was arrested in Hawaii on August 10th of 2022. So think about that. The sentence is 6. She should have done no less than 10 under manslaughter, no less than 20 plus under second-degree murder. Sabrina's going to address some of the factual reasons why that happened and why we have a resolution that speaks volumes. There's been a lot of commentary over the past 4 years. Today's result was driven not by public opinion, but by the evidence. This sentence reflects Courtney's desire to have finality in the process and not giving the chance to a jury of peers, in quotes, you know, here in Florida, until the Supreme Court rules differently, we're only entitled to 6 jurors.
Courtney Clenney's other attorney, Sabrina Puglisi, talked about the evidence that would have come in at trial, which would have included testimony from an expert on battered women.
And let me be equally clear about what has not changed in this case. From the first day, we said that Courtney Clenney was a victim of domestic abuse. And we say it again today. This was never something we asked anyone to take on faith. From the beginning, we said the evidence would support our defense. And the evidence we were prepared to put before a jury included independent witnesses with no stake in the case. There was a neighbor, Arthur Cupp, who came freely and voluntarily to speak to the police about what happened that he saw about a week prior. He witnessed Courtney repeatedly being hit by Obumseli And when Obumseli saw that somebody was looking at him from across the way, he closed the shades. A store employee near their house witnessed Courtney entering the store with bruises on her arms, and on one occasion, him grabbing her and cornering her. It included building security and police responses in the weeks before, including one just days earlier when officers found Courtney frightened, asking for help, asking for a restraining order against Christian Obumseli. It included medical records documenting repeated injuries across the relationship, and it included Dr. Lenora Walker, the psychologist who first defined battered women's syndrome, and Dr. Stephanie Ackle, who were prepared to explain the years of abuse shaped Courtney's fears and her actions on that day. What that evidence would have shown is that on April 3rd, 2022, Courtney had been choked by Christian Obumseli, a man much larger and stronger than her. When he lunged towards her, Courtney threw a knife in fear for her life. Resolving this case is not a retraction of the truth.
Courtney Clenney's parents, Kim and Deborah Clenney, had been charged in the beginning of the case with unauthorized use of a computer. They were accused of accessing Christian Obumseli's computer without permission, but a judge later dismissed those charges. Kim Clenney spoke about his daughter and that experience.
This process has opened our eyes to the flaws in our justice system. For example, my wife and I being arrested for nothing more than supporting our daughter. That was a terrifying reality check about what can happen when government agencies are allowed to act unchecked. But today is about moving past all that. What matters to me now is that for the first time in more than 4 years, there's an end in sight. Courtney has a future ahead of her. As her father, I'm looking forward to that day that she can begin rebuilding her life. I'm looking forward to the day I can sit across from her face to face and hug her and tell her how much I love her. I'd like to say something about a much larger family that we have, and that's our attorney family. Frank has been there since day one. I called him out of the blue on a Sunday evening. He was at dinner and he dropped what he was doing because he knew that I needed him and therefore my daughter needed him. He hugged her that first day, a hug from me, and he's been with us since then. A few months later, and I want to also recognize his paralegal, Pam. She's been here since day one as well. A few months later, after Courtney was arrested, Sabrina and Diane joined us. And I like to tell them that they're tougher than any men I know in Texas. So they're true bulldogs, and beautiful ones at that.
With all of these statements of support for Courtney Clenney and the defense belief that the evidence showed that she was a victim of domestic violence, why not go to trial?
Weighing, it's a balancing. The evidence in this case would have been overwhelming at trial on the side of the defense. But you never know what a jury's going to do. They may latch on to some comment, a face that somebody makes. They may not like me. They definitely would like Sabrina, but they won't like me. And so in order to balance that, you have to look, I've got 20 more months to go versus what's behind door number 2. Could be guilty. Could it be? Sure, it could be. I doubt it. The state's case crumbled. That's why we're here today with the sentence of...
So with good time credit, Courtney Clenney could be out of prison in 18 to 20 months. She'll have to spend 5 years on reporting probation. Anyone who is a victim of domestic violence, male or female, man or woman, can get help. The national hotline number is 1-800-799-SAFE. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.